Nakul Fort. From palace fortresses, we're now heading to something completely different. Nakul Fort, a structure that seems to grow directly from the mountain itself. This fort represents the ultimate in strategic positioning and natural defense integration. Picture this: you're driving through Oman's dramatic landscape, surrounded by the towering Hajar Mountains, when suddenly, this massive fortress emerges from the rocky terrain like something straight out of Arabian Nights. I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about it. Nakul Fort isn't just sitting on a hill, I know. It's literally carved into a massive rock outcrop, making it look like the mountain itself grew defensive walls. Built in the pre-Islamic era and continuously expanded over centuries, this isn't your typical tourist castle. This is something else entirely. What makes this place absolutely mind-blowing is its location. Seriously, you won't believe this. Nakul village sits in this lush oasis, and I mean lush, with date palms, traditional fallage irrigation systems that are over 1,000 years old, and natural hot springs bubbling up from the earth. The contrast is surreal. You've got this ancient fortress watching over verdant gardens in the middle of what should be desert. It's like finding Shangri-La in the Arabian Peninsula. I mean, how is this even possible? Now, let's talk about why this place is an architectural masterpiece. As you climb these narrow, winding staircases, and I mean narrow, we're talking single file only, you start to understand the defensive genius of this design. Every corridor, every room, every window is strategically positioned. These aren't just rooms, they're tactical advantages. Look at this. See these openings? Murder holes. Any invader trying to breach these walls would face arrows and boiling oil from above. And these thick walls? They're not just stone. They're a complex system of local materials that have withstood earthquakes, flash floods, and centuries of desert storms. But here's what absolutely blew my mind. The fort has multiple levels built directly into the rock face. Some rooms are literally caves that have been refined and expanded. It's like the builders worked with the mountain, not against it. And the views? Oh my god, the views. From the highest tower, you can see for miles across the Batna Plain. On a clear day, you can spot the coast of the Arabian Sea. But Nakul Fort isn't just about impressive architecture. It's about the people who lived here. This fortress was home to the Wali, the local governor, and his entire household for centuries. Walking through these rooms, you can almost hear the echoes of daily life. Here's the majlis where important decisions were made. There's the kitchen where traditional Omani dishes were prepared. And up here, this was the family's private quarters. What's incredible is that this wasn't just a military fortification, it was a thriving community. The fort had its own water supply from natural springs, storage for months of food, and even space for livestock. It was completely self-sufficient. And get this, the fort remained inhabited until the 1990s. We're not talking about ancient history here. There are people alive today who remember when this was still a functioning residence. Today, it's been beautifully restored and is a UNESCO World Heritage candidate. But what I love most is that it still feels authentic, like you're stepping back in time, not visiting a theme park. Now, here's why Nakul should be on every traveler's bucket list. It's not just about the fort. This is a complete cultural experience. Those natural hot springs I mentioned, they're still there, and you can actually bathe in them. Imagine soaking in naturally heated mineral water with this ancient fortress towering above you. The village market is incredible. Traditional Omani crafts, fresh dates from those ancient palm groves, and some of the most hospitable people you'll ever meet. And if you're lucky enough to visit during a festival or celebration, you might witness traditional Omani music and dance performances right in the shadow of the fort. It's magical. Standing here as the sun sets behind Nakul Fort, painting these ancient walls in gold and crimson, I'm reminded why travel isn't just about seeing places. It's about connecting with stories that span centuries. Nakul Fort isn't just one of Oman's hidden gems. It's proof that the most incredible experiences often lie off the beaten path, waiting for curious travelers willing to venture beyond the obvious. Rustak Fort. Picture this. It's the 17th century, and you're a Portuguese commander looking at this massive stone giant rising from the desert floor. Rustak Fort wasn't just built, it was engineered to be absolutely impregnable. Built around 1650 during the reign of Imam Sultan bin Saif al-Yarubi, this fortress covers an area of over 38,000 square meters, that's bigger than 5 football fields. But here's what makes it truly legendary. The walls are up to 18.5 meters high and 2 meters thick. But the genius isn't just in the size, it's in the design. The fort has 4 massive towers, each strategically positioned to create overlapping fields of fire. No blind spots, no weak points. But wait until you see what's inside this fortress. Walking through these ancient halls is like stepping back in time. The fort houses over 55 rooms, including royal chambers, weapon storage, and get this, a complete mosque within the walls. The imam's residence features intricate wooden balconies and traditional Omani architecture that's been perfectly preserved for centuries. And here's a mind-blowing fact. The fort has its own water system. Ancient wells and channels ensure the fortress could survive months-long sieges. The engineering is so sophisticated that modern architects still study these designs today. But the most incredible feature, secret underground passages that connect different parts of the fort. These weren't just escape routes. They were tactical advantages that allowed defenders to move unseen and launch surprise counterattacks. Now here's where the story gets absolutely epic. Rustak Fort became the center of Omani resistance against colonial powers. When Portuguese forces tried to capture it in the 1650s, they faced something they'd never encountered before. The fort's defenders used innovative tactics. They poured boiling oil and date syrup from the ramparts, used the tower's height advantage for devastating crossbow attacks, and those secret passages I mentioned, they allowed for lightning-fast flanking maneuvers. The Portuguese siege lasted for months, but Rustak never fell. In fact, this fortress became the launching point for the campaigns that eventually drove all foreign occupiers from Oman. It's not just a fort, it's the birthplace of Omani independence. And here's something that'll give you chills. Local legends say that on quiet nights, you can still hear the echoes of ancient war drums in the towers. Whether you believe it or not, standing in those chambers definitely feels otherworldly. Today, Rustak Fort stands as one of Oman's most spectacular historical sites. When you visit, you're not just seeing ruins, you're experiencing a living piece of history. The fort has been beautifully restored while maintaining its authentic character. You can climb those legendary towers, walk through the Imam's private chambers, and even see original weapons and artifacts from the siege periods. And the views? Absolutely breathtaking. From the highest tower, you can see the entire Rustak oasis, the surrounding mountains, and understand exactly why this location was chosen for such an important fortress. Mutra Fort. Standing here at the base of Mutra Fort, you can immediately feel why the Portuguese chose this exact spot in the 16th century. Look at this strategic positioning. From up here, you can see everything, the entire Mutra harbor, the approaches from the sea, and the vital trade routes that made Muscat the Pearl of Arabia. This wasn't just built for show. This was military engineering at its finest. These walls, they're over 500 years old, built from local limestone that's actually grown stronger with age. The Portuguese weren't messing around when they constructed this. They built it to last through monsoons, sieges, and centuries of scorching Arabian sun. But here's what most people don't know. Mutra Fort wasn't just a military installation. It was the nerve center of one of the world's most important spice and incense trading networks. Merchants from India, Persia, Africa, and Europe all passed under the watchful eyes of the guards stationed right here. Now, walking through these ancient corridors, you're literally following in the footsteps of Portuguese conquistadors, Omani rulers, and countless soldiers who called this place home. Check out these inscriptions carved into the stone, some in Portuguese, some in Arabic. Each one tells a story of changing hands, different rulers, and the constant ebb and flow of power in this strategic location. Picture this. It's 1650, and the fort is under siege. Imam Sultan bin Saif is leading the Omani resistance against Portuguese rule. For months, this fortress becomes the epicenter of a battle that will determine the future of Oman. The Portuguese, who had controlled this region for 150 years, are making their last stand right here. And you know what's incredible? When the Omanis finally reclaimed their land, they didn't destroy what the Portuguese built. Instead, they enhanced it, turning it into an even more formidable guardian of their newly independent nation. From this exact spot, you're witnessing the perfect blend of ancient and modern Oman. Those gleaming buildings down there, that's 21st century Muscat. But the soul of this place, the trading spirit, the strategic importance, the cultural crossroads, That's all still here, just like it was 500 years ago. But let's talk about why you need to visit Mutra Fort on your next trip to Oman. First, the views are absolutely breathtaking. We're talking 360-degree panoramas that include the Sultan Qaboos Grand Mosque, the Mutra Corniche, and on a clear day, you can see all the way to the Hajar Mountains. Instagram-worthy? That's an understatement. Second, unlike many historical sites that feel disconnected from modern life, Mutra Fort is alive with context. You're not just looking at old stones. You're standing at the crossroads of civilizations. See those cannon positions? They're still intact. Those watchtowers? Still commanding the same views that protected countless merchant ships. And that path we just climbed? That's the same route that Portuguese soldiers and Omani warriors used for centuries. And here's the best part. Mutra Fort isn't isolated. You can easily combine it with the famous Mutra Souk, take a traditional dhow cruise, or explore the nearby Al Alam Palace. It's the perfect starting point for understanding Oman's incredible history. So there you have it, Mutra Fort, where 500 years of Arabian history comes alive in one of the most spectacular settings you'll ever experience. This isn't just a tourist attraction, it's a journey through time, a lesson in resilience, and proof that some things are built to endure forever. Buqa Fort. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Buqa Fort, or as locals call it, Helat Buqa. This architectural marvel sits in the Musandam Peninsula, literally carved into the landscape like nature's own crown jewel. Built in the 17th century by the Portuguese, this fortress wasn't just a military outpost. It was the guardian of one of the world's most important trade routes. Look at this craftsmanship. These massive stone walls, some reaching heights of 30 feet, were constructed using traditional Arabic building techniques combined with Portuguese military engineering. The result, an almost indestructible fortress that has weathered centuries of storms, sieges, and the relentless desert sun. Here's what makes Buqa Fort absolutely fascinating. Its location wasn't chosen by accident. This fortress controlled the entrance to the Strait of Hormuz, through which nearly 30% of the world's oil still passes today. Imagine the wealth and power that flowed through these very walls. From up here, ancient guards could spot approaching ships from miles away. Persian merchants, Indian spice traders, African gold dealers, they all had to pass under the watchful eyes of Buqa's defenders. This single fortress controlled trade worth millions in today's currency. Step inside with me and prepare to be amazed. These aren't just empty ruins. Every room, every corridor tells a story. Check out these incredible features. The ingenious water collection system that channeled rainwater into underground cisterns, ensuring the garrison never went thirsty during long sieges. And look at this. Traditional Arabic wind towers that created natural air conditioning centuries before electricity. The Portuguese builders learned from local Omani architects, creating a fusion style that's both beautiful and brilliantly practical. This central courtyard served as the heart of daily life. Soldiers trained here, merchants negotiated deals, and important decisions that affected the entire region were made within these walls. You can almost hear the echoes of history. Now, here's where things get really interesting. Local legends speak of hidden treasure chambers beneath the fort, gold and jewels accumulated from centuries of trade taxation. While archaeologists haven't found these supposed chambers, ground-penetrating radar has detected mysterious void spaces under the main structure. And here's a spine-tingling fact. Locals claim that on clear nights, you can still hear the sound of ancient horn calls echoing from the mountains, the same signals guards used to communicate with distant watchtowers. Coincidence? Maybe. But when you're standing here at sunset, surrounded by 400 years of history, you might just believe it yourself. Thanks to careful restoration efforts by the Omani government, Buqa Fort isn't just preserved, it's alive. The restoration maintained the authentic character, while making it safely accessible to visitors like us. The best time to visit? Definitely sunrise or sunset. The way the light plays across these ancient stones, with the mountains creating dramatic shadows and the sea stretching endlessly beyond. It's pure magic. No Instagram filter needed here, folks. Before you pack your bags, here are some insider tips. Buqa Fort is about a 2-hour drive from Muscat through some of Oman's most spectacular mountain scenery. The journey is half the adventure. Entry is incredibly affordable, just 2 Omani Rials, about $5 US. Visit between October and March for perfect weather. Bring water, comfortable walking shoes, and definitely your camera. The fort is open daily except Fridays from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. And here's something special. The nearby village of Buka still maintains traditional Omani culture. Grab some authentic Omani coffee and dates from local vendors and experience the same hospitality that welcomed traders centuries ago. So there you have it, Buka Fort, where history isn't just preserved, it's palpable. This isn't just another tourist attraction. It's a journey through time, a testament to human ingenuity, and proof that the most incredible discoveries often lie off the beaten path. Sunnisila Fort. Picture this. It's the 18th century, and Sur is the beating heart of Arabian maritime trade. Ships laden with treasures from India, Africa, and beyond are approaching the coast. But with great wealth comes great danger. Pirates prowl these waters, and rival powers eye Sur's riches hungrily. Enter Sunnisila Fort. Rising 35 meters long and 30 meters wide from a rocky hilltop like something straight out of an adventure film. This isn't just architecture. This is strategic genius carved in stone. What makes this fort absolutely fascinating are these 4 circular towers, 3 of them armed with cannons that could blast enemy ships out of the water. But the 4th tower, that's where the real magic happened. It was the all-seeing eye, the surveillance center where watchmen scan the horizon 24/7 for approaching threats. The defensive system was ingenious, 55-meter-long walls creating an imposing barrier, leading to both covered and open courtyards where soldiers could move unseen. Every stone, every angle, every viewpoint was calculated for maximum defensive advantage. But here's what most people don't realize. Sunnisila Fort wasn't just a military installation. Step inside these ancient chambers and you'll discover a world where poetry flourished alongside warfare, where Quran stands sat next to weapon racks, and where beautiful carpets adorned rooms that doubled as war councils. The fort's strategic position is absolutely mind-blowing. From up here, you can see the entire city of Sur, the shimmering lagoon where dhows were built, and the endless Arabian Sea that brought both fortune and danger to these shores. Speaking of dhows, Sur wasn't just any port city. It was the dhow-building capital of Arabia. For centuries, master craftsmen here built the legendary ships that connected 3 continents. And guess what? Sunnisila Fort stood guard over this incredible maritime heritage, protecting the artisans who created vessels that would sail to India, East Africa, and beyond. The smooth, plain architecture you see here, that's not simplicity, that's sophistication. Traditional Omani military design at its finest, where every curve serves a purpose, where beauty meets brutal efficiency. Walking through these corridors, you can almost hear the footsteps of sultans, the shouts of lookouts, the rumble of cannon wheels on stone. This fort has seen it all. The golden age of Arab maritime trade, colonial pressures, modern transformations. What's remarkable is how well-preserved this fortress remains. Thanks to Oman's Ministry of Heritage and Tourism, recent renovations have brought Sunnisila Fort back to life, while respecting its authentic character. Every restoration stone tells a story of dedication to preserving this incredible heritage. But here's the most incredible part. This fort is still fulfilling its original purpose, not defending against pirates anymore, but protecting something even more precious, the memory and heritage of one of Arabia's greatest maritime civilizations. Today, when you visit Sunnisila Fort, you're not just seeing a tourist attraction. You're stepping into a living museum where 3 centuries of Arabian maritime history unfolds before your eyes. Standing here at Sunnisila Fort, surrounded by centuries of history and overlooking the timeless beauty of Sur, I can't help but feel connected to the countless generations who called this place home, who defended it, who built their dreams in its shadow. This isn't just Oman's heritage. This is human heritage, a testament to ingenuity, courage, and the unbreakable bond between people and the sea. Beit Nu'uman Fort. What makes Beit Nu'uman absolutely unique is its distinctive silhouette. The unusually tall and narrow house, with alternating square and round towers, is thought to have been constructed around 1691–92 by Imam Bilarab bin Sultan, and trust me, when you see it rising from the coastal plains, it looks like something straight out of Arabian Nights. But here's where it gets really interesting. This is not a fort in the true sense. It is a fortified country house which was restored in 1990 and transformed into something truly spectacular. Unlike most of Oman's forts, the house has been fitted out with a lavish collection of period furniture, traditional Omani artifacts, and incredibly detailed English signage that brings the history to life. The craftsmanship is mind-blowing. Built from traditional mud brick on solid foundations, every archway, every carved window screen, every decorative element tells a story of Arabian architectural mastery that has survived over 3 centuries. Now, here's where the story gets absolutely wild. According to one tradition, this is also where Sultan Said bin Sultan murdered his unpopular predecessor Badr bin Saif in 1806 with a single blow from his khanjar. Imagine the political intrigue, the palace conspiracies, the power struggles that played out within these very walls. The fort has witnessed multiple renovations by different rulers. Beit al-Nu'man Fort was renovated by Imam Ahmed bin Said al-Busaidi, 1749 to 1783, after nearly a century of use. The building was fortified by strengthening the walls and the construction of 2 new defensive towers, which enabled guards to fire their guns in all directions. These weren't just decorative additions, they were serious military upgrades designed to protect the ruling elite from both external threats and internal rebellions. Every tower, every window placement, every corridor was strategically designed for maximum defensive capability. What you see today is the result of one of Oman's most successful heritage restoration projects. The entire building was beautifully restored in 1991, and the attention to detail is absolutely incredible. They didn't just preserve the structure, they brought it back to life. Walking through these rooms is like stepping into a time machine. The traditional Omani furniture, the authentic artifacts, the way the light filters through the carved wooden screens, it's pure magic. And unlike many historical sites where you're kept behind ropes, here you can actually experience the spaces as they were meant to be lived in. The location is perfect too, located only a few hundred meters from the shore of the Gulf of Oman. So you get these incredible views of both the desert landscape and the turquoise waters of the Arabian Sea. Here's what makes this place special for modern travelers. The castle is free to enter and there is no charge, and opening times: Saturday to Wednesday, 900 to 1330 hours. It's operated by Oman's Ministry of Heritage and Culture, so you know you're getting authentic, well-maintained access to real history. Beit Nu'man Fort isn't just a historical site, it's a masterpiece of preservation that shows us how heritage tourism should be done. It's authentic, accessible, beautifully maintained, and tells a story that will stay with you long after you leave. This is exactly the kind of hidden gem that makes Oman such an incredible destination for travelers who want to go beyond the typical tourist trail. You're not just looking at old walls, you're experiencing the real Arabia, the one where sultans plotted, artists created, and history was made. Jalan Bani Bu Hassan Fort. As I approach this colossal structure rising from the desert floor, the first thing that strikes you is its sheer scale and condition. I mean, wow. Unlike its neighboring rival fort in Jalan Bani Bu Ali, which lies in romantic ruins, Jalan Bani Bu Hassan Fort stands proud and fully restored. Its massive walls and towers reaching toward the sky like something straight out of an epic movie. The fort's architecture is absolutely breathtaking. Every entrance features these incredible vaulted arches, decorated with intricate geometric patterns that showcase the mathematical precision of Islamic design. The doors themselves are works of art, and I'm telling you, rarely will you find one without elaborate floral motifs carved into the wood. These aren't just decorative elements, they're symbols of the sophisticated culture that built this fortress. Now here's where it gets really exciting. You can actually walk on top of these extensive walls. As I make my way up these ancient stone steps, I'm literally walking in the footsteps of warriors and guards who once protected this stronghold. The walls are so thick and well preserved that you can comfortably stroll along the entire perimeter. And this is why they built it here. Look at this view, 360 degrees of the most stunning desert landscape you can imagine. To the east, endless date palm groves stretch toward the horizon like a green ocean in the golden sand. To the west, the desert opens up in magnificent waves of dunes that seem to go on forever. From up here, you can understand exactly why this location was chosen. It's the perfect strategic vantage point. But what makes this fort truly special isn't just its beauty, it's the incredible story behind it. Dating back to the 13th century, this fortress has witnessed nearly 800 years of Arabian history. Picture this: rival tribes, fierce desert battles, ancient trade routes, and the rise and fall of empires, all centered around this very spot. Jalan Bani Bu Hassan and its neighbor Jalan Bani Bu Ali were once bitter rivals, competing for control of this crucial desert crossroads. These weren't just territorial disputes, they were fighting for control of the valuable date palm plantations and the lucrative trade routes that connected the interior of Oman with the coastal ports. What's remarkable is that in the 19th century, This fort was essentially rebuilt and fortified, which explains its incredible preservation today. The restoration work has been so meticulous that you can see exactly how these ancient builders achieved such impressive defensive capabilities. The walls are designed not just for protection, but for comfort, with clever ventilation systems and strategic positioning that takes advantage of desert wind patterns. And speaking of climbing, you absolutely must climb every single tower. Each one offers a different perspective of the surrounding landscape. From the highest tower, on a clear day, you can see for miles across the Sharqiya region, understanding exactly why this fort became such a crucial stronghold. The best time to visit? Definitely during golden hour when the desert sun casts these incredible shadows across the fortress walls. The entire structure seems to glow against the backdrop of the endless Arabian desert. It's like stepping into a real-life Arabian Nights tale. What I love most about Jalan Bani Bu Hassan Fort is that it's not overrun with tourists. This gives you the rare opportunity to explore at your own pace, to really absorb the atmosphere and imagine what life was like for the people who called this fortress home. The silence here is profound, broken only by the whisper of desert wind through the ancient stones. The quality of the restoration work is absolutely outstanding. Every stone has been carefully placed, every archway perfectly reconstructed. It's a testament to Oman's commitment to preserving its incredible heritage. This isn't just a tourist attraction, it's a piece of living history that continues to tell its story to anyone willing to listen. Jalan Bani Bu Hassan Fort isn't just one of Oman's hidden gems, it's proof that with proper care and respect, we can preserve our most precious historical treasures for future generations. Standing here in this 800-year-old fortress, perfectly restored and maintained, I'm reminded of the incredible ingenuity and artistry of our ancestors. What we've discovered today isn't just a collection of old buildings, it's the story of a civilization that mastered the art of survival in one of the world's most challenging environments. These fortresses represent over 1,000 years of architectural innovation, military genius, and cultural achievement. These aren't just tourist destinations, they're living proof that the Middle East has always been at the forefront of architectural and military innovation. Long before European castles became famous, Omani engineers were solving problems that modern architects still admire.